This fucking clown Zeku. What's good, bruh? While you're over there raging on Call of Duty. Keep this stream up for about an hour, see if anyone pops in. If not, oh well.
For me? Oh hell, what do I care? Do your worst! Note to self, need to order more henchmen. Good ones this time.
Yes, I am taking questions. Pretty much whenever you pop in, ask me whatever you want about the story. But I hope you're doing well, C-Arco. Hope your day is going well. All that good stuff. Staying safe. Let me know how the mic audio is, by the way. If it's shit, then I'll like change, turn my mic audio up.
Come on, boys, he's just one man. One man dressed like a lunatic and armed with a T. Go get him! Let's finish this.
This'll hurt. Get him on the ground and stomp on his face!
Yeah, because a lot of my stances on T8 story have shifted from the initial two-parter. So I have a feeling that people are going to be surprised by the answers I would give. Given that I don't dread the story as much as I did a year ago. Or back in January, to be more accurate.
Oh, you're a Ruby. We both know you eat bugs like that for breakfast.
Oh, that was a personal best. That's insane. They run out of ideas for Heihachi to come back or what?
Do your worst!
Eh. I wouldn't say that they ran out of ideas.
Get him on the ground and stomp on his face!
It's more so, I guess the whole Heihachi's return thing stemmed from a fear of moving the story forward. I mean, because we all know that the reason as to why they brought Heihachi back was because everyone missed him. Because there were still places you could have taken the base game. Because Kazuya still wasn't locked up for whatever stupid reason. They could have explored the world post-Jin, saving the planet. Because just because he saved the world doesn't mean he's immediately owed forgiveness by the people. So that's an avenue that they could have taken the narrative. I will say though that I was very disappointed with how basically with Heihachi's return they essentially reverted everything back to the status quo. Because there was an avenue that they could have explored with Heihachi. Now that the world, because you got to think about it, if we're gonna go with the narrative that Heihachi was a good guy the whole time, you could have expanded on that from T7 and actually done it. You could have refined the execution on how you want to make him a good guy.
To order more henchmen. Good ones this time.
You didn't run out of ideas and just pick the worst way? Yeah, pretty much. Unfortunately. Kazuya. Yeah, I agree. I would love to know how the Tekken monks even brought him back to life when Heihachi's heart stopped. I will say though, with the existence of the DLC, it definitely made me have to reconsider the initial two-parter I did for the base story of T8. And how harsh I was on the game. Because every single criticism that I gave to the base game during my first two-parter, really, it actually more accurately applies to the DLC. Because the DLC, pretty much everything I criticized the base game for, because I had to reevaluate the story, and I was saying, oh, they don't move the timeline forward, nothing's progressing, everything's stagnant. But then when I replayed the, well, I didn't replay it because I don't have a PS5. I rewatched the story, and I actually see there is genuine effort to progress the characters, as opposed. But then you play the fucking DLC, and pretty much every criticism I was giving of shit remaining stagnant actually happened.
It's the main event.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people say that they want to see Asuka go toe-to-toe with Reina. I mean, at this point, I'll be honest, I don't really care that Asuka is useless. But yeah. I mean, I was never even crazy emotionally attached to Asuka as a character to even be that upset. Other than me seeing the fact that she was wasted and thinking it was stupid, when she could have had an obvious role in this story. he somehow
Boys, he's just one man.
didn't
One
fall
man
over.
dressed like a lunatic and armed with a teeth. Go get him!
Better you.
I mean, it's funny that you mentioned Reina because Heihachi's DLC drop has essentially been 9/11 for anyone who cares about Tekken Story. Yeah, pretty much. Unfortunately. Yes, sir, I am using the armor suit.
Hey, Dad.
I mean, it barely makes a difference and it's
Go easy on
ugly.
him. For me. Oh, hell, what do I care? Do your worst!
I will say though that the DLC and the lack of care in the writing compared to the base game, it was a staggering decline in quality. Because for all the faults of the base game, I can at the very least look at it and say they are trying to tell a genuine narrative. And I guess one of the things that made me shift my perspective on Tekken 8 is the way I view the way that I view T8, the base game, is very much the same way I view Jin's redemption arc. In that Jin, following Tekken 5 and Tekken 6, he's carrying a lot of baggage within himself, and that baggage that he's carrying is going to impact the decisions that he makes within the game. So when I apply this mindset to the writers, I think of how everyone reacted negatively to Tekken 6. Like, everyone hated the story in T6. And then Tekken 7, of course, everyone like spent the entire lifetime of Tekken 7 pretty much just memeing on the story, saying it was a fucking joke. So Tekken 8 not only had to make a decent standalone story, it also had the responsibility of sort of alleviating or regaining the good faith within the community after pretty much a dumpster fire of the stories of Tekken 5 and Tekken 5, T6, and T7. Leon, hey, so I apologize, the chat is fucking frozen on the PlayStation
Go easy on him.
because this is the best streaming service. Leon Heihachi not having
What do I care? Do your
a
worst!
special intro is not choice, yes it is. Damn, he's better in this game than you, Zeku. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Zeku was playing on hard mode, but yeah, he sucks. Yes, I have a strong feeling that Jin and Kazuya are going to get their double powers back, and I have a feeling it's going to be very stupid. I mean, I have to question what was the point of giving Jin a brand new form just to take it away from him. I mean, I get it's symbolic, and it is very anime trope to where the characters reach a brand new level of power. They're basically fighting like gods, but then in the final fight, it's just two ordinary men. But for Tekken 8, that concept does work, because it's meant to showcase how I guess how Jin is just a man, one man among many.
Note to self, need to order more henchmen. Good ones this time.
Yes, Jin is definitely gonna have to stand up against Devil Ring.
Is he okay?
I mean, that was obvious from a mile away. I dropped my combo. I mean, but the angel form, I mean, you say Angel Asuka versus Reina, but the angel form, that's not a Kazama exclusive thing, is it? I mean, they don't really explain it in the main story. But the assumption is that for some reason the Kazama power now amplifies the Devil Gene, as opposed to in the previous games where it was essentially just kryptonite. But then again, I would not be surprised if they do if they give him Asuka or Jun some kind of, because they already gave Jun basically Jesus powers. Oh, we traded. How nice. Got hit because I was looking at the fucking chat. Reina goes after Jun as the only one who could stop her double powers. Only for Asuka Kazama's purification sucker punch as they're being trained in sequence. Yeah, I could see that kind of thing happening. At this point, I feel like they're just throwing shit at the wall, seeing what sticks, and says that's the okay thing in the story. Yeah, I can see that. I definitely, well, I didn't get that vibe from the base game. I definitely got it from the DLC.
It's the big fight. Who will win? The heart killers? The merciless murderers? Let's see.
I should have expected a bunch of questions to revolve around the DLC. I was hoping for questions on the base game, because then I would actually have something to say. Cause I mean, it's pretty obvious that I don't like the DLC. Because of all the stupid shit that takes place. The DLC definitely surprised me in that regard, not in a good way. Especially considering that the DLC was only 1 hour of playtime compared to the base game, which was like 2 hours. If you take the cutscenes and gameplay into account.
Good ones this time.
If we're going a cinematic story mode, help the story issue. Hold on, I'm getting a DM. I will answer that question real quick.
One man dressed like a lunatic and armed with a teeth. Go get him!
Okay, sorry about that. So, would stopping doing a cinematic story mode help with the writing quality of the story? I mean, I wouldn't say so. Because you can have dumb shit in the story regardless if it's cinematic or not. And plus the idea of expecting cinematic stories to just not be a thing is kind of unreasonable, because that's basically what's popular in the market, right?
crap out of you.
I don't know because fucking because there's a certain scene I'm thinking about from the DLC. And I'm thinking if this was exclusively a gameplay story, would this kind of issue exist? I got hit by the fucking stun baton. I'm disgusted. What character would you like to see return for Tekken 8, secret or otherwise?
Hey, Dax, go easy on him. Oh, hell, what do I get?
I mean, I know pretty much everyone and their mother wants Miguel to come back. I really don't have a preference. Because I don't even know where they're going to take the story up until this point now. If the next game jumps more than a year or two, will they drop Nina? I mean, it depends. How old is Nina right now? Shooting.
Is he okay?
Sit down. I mean, I really don't give a shit about Nina because she doesn't do anything. Because really the only reason Nina is going to be in the next game is just to work for Reina.
I was going to kill each henchman who failed to beat you? No.
Seeing as they cloned Steve from Nina's DNA, they probably cloned her. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, considering that the DLC introduced that that gallery mode that adds additional lore or tells you about aspects within the lore, I would not be surprised if they established in the DLC that Nina was cloned this whole time and we just never saw her. I mean, they already established the Tekken monks and they came out of thin fucking air.
Don't let him hit you, you idiot!
Cannot help but feel that some of these cynical takes on the base story are because of that video, because of that two-parter I did way back fucking when. Because I have a feeling that, you know, I'm just gonna throw this out on a whim. I have a feeling that nobody here rewatched Tekken 8, the base story of T8, and reevaluated it. And I don't say that to be arrogant. I just have a feeling. I pressed triangle. Yeah, that's cool. Would you agree that the problem with Jin's redemption isn't himself but the characters around him? Yes. Well, then again, yes and no. And the reason I say yes and no is because even Force Snake asked this on Twitter. He asked, "Do you think that the reason Miguel was not in the base game is because the writers were trying to wash their hands clean at T6?" And when I answer the question, I have to look at it. I look at it as such that you can't say that the game doesn't acknowledge T6 because there's plenty of times where they do. And take into account that another thing that people don't really take into account is that when criticizing this aspect of Jin's redemption arc is that Jin is already working with people. So, and this is mainly with people who say that Miguel had to be in the game. Jin is already working with people that he's wronged in Tekken 6. So you can't even say that the game washes its hands clean of it, because they do recognize that that the people who are the closest to Jin are people he has wronged. And they do maintain that that Jin was wrong for starting the war, which would be concerning if they didn't. And the development that Jin gets in Tekken 8, as I've said before, I like the development he gets, and it makes sense that Jin's character is going in this direction. And he's essentially learning what it means for him to be alive. And he's breaking out of the Mishima curse and all that shit. That being said, however, and this is something I'm maintained, even though I'm not as harsh on the arc as I was, and I don't hate it, and I don't think it's as hollow as a lot of people like to make it out to be. One thing that was definitely, I guess, wasn't earned, but was definitely rushed through, was the characters and their relationships with Jin. Because I'm expected to believe... This motherfucker. Get out of my way. This idiot with the knife. Because what we're expected to believe by the end of the game is that the characters now have this unbreakable bond with one another. And this, of course, ties into the secondary theme that the game presents, because everyone and their mother knows that the main theme of Tekken 8 is self-acceptance. Because Jin has to come to terms with his past. He has to accept the devil as a part of himself. He has to stop denying himself, because it only causes more problems than it actually fixes. And the reason he became the version of himself in Tekken 6 is because of his denial. Because he didn't want to be associated with him. Nice dodge, guys. Great dodge. Great fucking dodge. But one thing I will definitely say about T8 is that I'm not sold on the characters and their bonds with each other. And a big problem part of that problem does come from the fact that they're obviously at the point that everyone and their mother has been making, that at no point in Tekken 8 do any of the characters actually talk about Tekken 6 and how Jin has screwed these characters over. And we had to wait an entire year for the DLC for there to be finally a conversation. And we got one between Jin and Eddie. I don't want to give too much of an answer to this because I have an entire script written where I talk about this in more detail. If I give the answer that I want to give, then there would essentially be no point in me making that video eventually. But I will say that the characters' relationship is it's a case of wanting to have your cake and eating it. Because essentially, in order to convey the theme of people being strong and united, they need the side characters to work with Jin in spite of his sins with Tekken 6. But in order for the characters to get that development, they avoid talking about Tekken 6. Because if they did speak about Tekken 6, they would have actually had to write scenes where Jin is confronted by these other characters. So that's all I'll really say on that. And it's not simply a matter of the characters are too nice to Jin or they're not mean, as a lot of people have criticized. It's more so, are the characters acting in a way, so with the characters supporting Jin, are they acting in a way that makes sense for the characters to act? And I feel like for a lot of characters, like when I think about it, when the Leo scene for instance. I don't really think that scene works for what it is they were trying to convey. Yeah, so there's basically not as many challenge maps as there are in City. I'm just going to play the story on hard mode. Get on the ground and stomp on his face. Shut up, Zeku. But yeah, it's definitely... It is a weakness on the base game that they didn't write those scenes. Because with the Kazuya scene in Chapter 1 and the Double Jin scene in Chapter 12, they showcased that they are capable of talking about T6, so why they didn't choose to do it with the rest of the side characters. I can only assume that they didn't do it because they felt as though people wouldn't have been bought on the bonds of the characters. Or that if you actually talked about Jin sins in T6, people would get the feeling that he doesn't deserve to be redeemed, which a lot of people do say, regardless, that Jin didn't deserve to be redeemed and that he had to suffer a lot more. I don't completely agree with that, but I understand why people say that. So yeah, loaded answer, but that's what I have to say about that.
Stand back, fool, I've got a bomb. All right.
Sorry, give me like 2 seconds. I will be right back.
Hey, Sharpie. Love what you've done with the place.
That's Warden Shop to you. Bowles!
Yo, Frankie! How's the wife and kids? You miss me?
Shut it, clown! A lot of people here really want to talk to you.
Really? I don't mind walking. Not so tight, boys. You'll crease the suit.
Get that filthy degenerate out of here.
Warden, something's not right. I'm going with him. Is Commissioner Gordon here yet?
Yes, sir. He's waiting for you down at patient handover. He got here just before you did.
Sharpie loves his cameras. Hey, Sharpie, you getting my good side? Ah, but heck, they're all good, aren't they?
I want him securely locked away this time. Another escape and I will lose support for my mayoral campaign.
Don't worry, Warden. I have every available guard station here today, sir.
I hope it's enough, Officer North. For your sake. Joker is our most challenging patient. Curing him will cement my reputation. Inform Dr. Young her patient is here.
Back like your daddy with the milk. Hello, Falcon. Welcome to the stream. Hope your day is going well. I'm gonna get fucking eviscerated on the stealth.
Look at all... security. How's a guy supposed to break out of here?
New patient in the intensive treatment lab.
Managing, how's the stream? It's been going well. Been going well. Been getting some solid questions. GT Rising, welcome to the stream. Did the writers know bringing back Jin was only interesting because we thought we'd see Kazuya and Jin reacting to it? Yeah, probably. Yeah, that was definitely one of the failures of the base game of T8. How and why there wasn't a conversation between Jin and Kazuya, and instead she's just portrayed as loving them unconditionally and not seeing anything wrong with either of them is
Tell me.
it was very concerning.
Bat claws? Ooh, bat smacks.
Scan the screen on Joker.
Open the gate. Get him out of there.
I mean, you saw most people in here who are watching in the stream. You saw the original two-parter. You know how much I disliked Jun's lack of presence in the story.
Tick tock. Is that a crocodile I hear?
T8 story started off promising to me, but then completely fell apart.
Pencil me in for tomorrow at 4. We've got a lot of catching up to do.
Keep behind me. Okay, it's clear. Hello, new patient.
Yeah, it's weird to answer these questions because, again, I don't hate Tekken 8 story anymore.
I'm one idiot. You'll never escape.
Jin would have been a better DLC for Heihachi. Then Heihachi was good. I mean, yeah, but then you don't get Jin's angel form.
I'm telling you, the state of the wiring in these federal facilities is, well, it's shocking.
Really, Heihachi should have just... The whole Heihachi thing, either A, commit to making him a good guy now, or just B, have him on the base game.
Officer Bowles.
Whatever, just be quick.
Only following procedure. No, patient seems to be in
I hate the
satisfactory
DLC
condition.
so much.
Looks like he suffered minor lacerations, probably in the last 2 hours. There seems to be...
But Falcon, now that you say that, in what ways did Tekken 8's base game, or the story in general, in what ways did the story fall apart for you? Give examples.
open.
Should have kept Heihachi dead for multiple games.
Intensive treatment. Category 9 patient in transit.
I mean, you can have him dead in the story and then just fucking,
Shoot to kill permissions granted.
You heard the lady.
Then
We got
just have
another
him-
psycho on the way.
you can have him in the game and then just keep him dead in the
Can you
story.
smell the
T8
excitement
is
in
the
the
best
air?
story since T4, but that's a low bar.
Must have been
Yeah.
one of the guards then. Crocko boy, is that you?
I do feel as though that because a lot of people had high expectations or things they wanted to happen in the story of Tekken 8, they miss out on the strengths of the story mode. Which makes sense, right? This kind of thing happens. I mean, it happens with like Batman Arkham Knight, for instance. I mean, one thing I can say to Tekken 8, in defense of the story, is that the story knows what it wants to be.
Get that animal under control.
It has an ideal goal in mind, and it does everything it can to reach that goal.
won't stop me from killing you.
And it does it with sincerity, and it achieves that goal with sincerity. It's not offensive in the way that Tekken 7
That
story
reminds
was.
me, I really need to get
That
me
is
some
genuinely
Okay,
a
move up.
bad story. I kind of feel bad for the base game of T8. Because I feel like a lot of people are shit. Because a lot of people just shit on it
Not where you're going.
and just miss out on the good parts of
Night
it.
is young, bats.
I mean, it's like I
still
get
have
it.
a trick or two up my sleeve. I mean,
Because there is a
don't
bunch
you
of
think
dumb
it's
bullshit that
funny
does happen
how a
in the
pirate
main
lackey
storyline.
caused hundreds of my crew to be moved here.
I thought I told you to stay quiet.
Oh, Frankie, you really should learn to keep that fat mouth of yours shut. It'll get you into trouble.
The whole dead
Tell me
clan
something.
trope is getting
You've never
corny.
let me catch you this easily.
I
What are
assume
you
you're
really
talking
after?
for the Hachicho
Oh,
clan.
nothing much. Hundreds dying in pain and fear. All their meaningless lives brought to a horrifying conclusion.
All thanks to you and a book of matches.
Was that the answer you wanted?
All patients should avoid contact with prisoners from Blackgate Prison Facility.
Yeah, I figured.
What's he doing? Stay where you are. Get a flashlight. Get a light on him.
I mean, they didn't even bother to do anything with the Hachijo clan in fucking
Guest has arrived.
in T8 in the story mode, and they just gave you the little fucking text where it says Heihachi killed them all, which was stupid too.
So, you're back.
Have you read the classified archives the DLC added? Yes, I have.
Only 3? I'll be sure to try harder next time. What say we aim for 100?
Some of the archives are fine. Others are kind of shit.
Long night, Jim.
Joker invades City Hall.
I will say it's funny how the fucking
Leaving it to me to juggle
or not
Salty
or not
and
funny, but
Sophia.
one of the things that the DLC archive did is
Hell of a night.
it finally explained why Jun and Kazuya fell in love, and it's meant to be one of the most important moments in the series, and it just happens off screen.
If anyone's qualified, it's
Listen, I appreciate the assistance, but he'll unsettle the more violent inmates.
I think he's talking about you, Bats. Don't be a stranger. You're always welcome here. Gotta say, it's good to be back.
You okay?
He surrendered almost without a fight. I don't like it.
At least he's back where he belongs. Get up! Now!
Joker's loose. Alert the warden.
Joke's on you.
Honey, I'm home. Come on in.
It's confusing how they keep trying to possess Jin before birth, but also having the devil gene.
Batman, I set a trap, and you sprang it gloriously. Now let's get this party started. Ladies and men.
I mean, this take is probably gonna surprise you guys, but I don't hate the double gene anymore. In fact, I think with the narrative in T8, I actually think Tekken 8 actually went some way to actually fix a lot of the problems that I think people have had with the Devil Gene.
I got places to go.
That's just me. I personally don't mind. I'm not saying I hate the double gene, it's just that they're trying to keep both explanations and they don't work together.
I'll find a way out. Gordon,
Yeah, I
try
guess.
and contact the warden.
That's fair.
Let him know what's happening. I'll be back.
I will say the genetic component of the double gene in that was introduced in T4 was only really relevant for that game.
If you think I'll let you run.
And yeah, I know you said you don't hate the double gene. I'm just saying for me, myself personally.
Of course it is.
Especially considering that one segment in the two-parter. What was that long rant about how Azazel was an inferior villain to fucking Devil?
Joker's been busy. These poor guards never stood a chance.
All patients should take their medication at the prescribed times each and every day.
Security breach in level B.
I mean, in what way would you say that they're trying to? If a person can be possessed by a demonic entity regardless of the devil gene like Jinpachi, then what's the whole point of the devil gene plot? Yeah, that's fair.
Security breach in level B4.
Still I have to go.
Security breach in level B3. Warning. Security breach in level B2.
Oracle, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. What's up?
Joker's escaped custody. He's running free in Arkham.
Do you need anything? Is my dad still there?
I mean, well, the double gene plot that you mentioned
Joker's not far ahead.
was only.
Stay in contact.
Harada just admitted that Hacking Story writing his ass on Reddit. When did he do that? I'm gonna need a link to that, Zeku. I'm gonna need a link to that. But the double gene plot was introduced in T4, and for that game, it was only introduced in that game to explain how Kazuya was able to tame the devil.
This is disgraceful. How did a patient like Victor get free?
We'll worry about that later.
He wants to kill the guard, you know. He needs to kill the guard.
Yeah, Zeku, send me the link on fucking on Discord.
His ass has got my buddy. He's gonna fry him. Do something, please.
Keep him occupied. I need to get behind him. I've got
These old gargoyles should be able to support my weight if I grapple up to them. Zaz is down, but not for long. Got to get close and take him out.
Someone put this animal back in his cell.
Can you hear me? Is this thing on? Oh, hiya, B-Man. Harley Quinn here. How do you like my new uniform? Pretty hot, huh? Oh, I got something to show you. 1 second.
You know, I look at everyone here just memeing on T8, and it's like I can't entirely blame people because the DLC kind of fucking killed whatever goodwill that Namco earned with the base game, unfortunately.
Figured it out. Today is the Joker's big homecoming, and you're the guest of honor.
You have one chance to surrender, Quinn.
Testing fast, but no dice. Now the inmates are running the asylum. Well, technically the Joker's goons shipped in from Blackgate, but you get the idea. Bye-bye for now.
Batman, you picking this up?
Oracle, I'm here.
Arkham Asylum just vanished off the network.
He's in control of the security system.
This game is so good, man. I swear to God, the Arkham games are so good.
All police feeds are reporting he's placed bombs all over Gotham. Says he'll detonate them if anyone sets foot on Arkham Island. It's being suppressed at the moment, but the story will
In response to a fan asking him to write a manga.
It's just a diversion to keep people away.
How do you know?
I know it.
Try the radio. Control.
Okay, here we go. Here's the Reddit thread.
Harley thinks she has me.
You're lucky you're a mod, otherwise you wouldn't have been able to send me that link. Did you notice that Kazuya was hesitant to kill Jin in the final battle? Yes, I did. In fact, that is a part in. I think that's a part in in my script. I think I make a joke about how they're trying to humanize him.
I'm patching you into the guard radio feed.
Steve, more Blackgate prisoners. By the boiler.
Who's that behind them? Oh my God, it's
Did Harada just admit that, / confirm that Tekken's story writing is shit? Okay, let's calmly think together. You want me to write you want me to be a manga artist, but don't you think that the story is more important than the art for the manga, right? And you know the story of 30 Years of Tekken I create, don't you? See, you still think I'm a good manga artist. I don't think he's saying that he's a shit writer. I think he's more so saying that with Tekken's 30-year fucking legacy, it wouldn't be possible for him to write it into a manga. He tried to rip off Invincible there, like when Nolan was whipping Mark's ass. And crazy how Kazuya is depicted as pure evil despite going through hell as a child. I mean, that's the... I mean, as I outlined in the Kazuya analysis, that was the whole point.
Damn it! They're trapped in there.
And it's meant, and Kazuya's upbringing is meant to be rough, and especially with how it contrasts with Jin's.
Listen, the room is full of poison gas. Anyone caught in there is dead.
Are you gonna get in there and help them, Batman?
You know, the whole children are a reflection of their parents thing, and the sins of the father, all that shit. I've seen a lot of people say that Kazuya should get a redemption arc of some kind, but personally, I disagree.
This isn't a simple escape attempt. The Joker's been planning this.
I really don't think Kazuya needs a redemption arc. Go for it. Okay. Go for it.
Help me!
You're gonna be fine. Stay here.
I mean, yeah, he had a shit childhood, but...
Hold on a little longer, Steve. I can't!
I mean, bad things happening to a character, a good character, doesn't inherently make... It's how it's written.
Batman! The extraction system! He was trying to get to the control panel. He left me here. Son of...
I mean, yeah, it wasn't his fault, of course. Never said it was. The whole point is that the whole point of Kazuya is that he doesn't want to grow past that. And that's why I said he's the perfect villain for Jin post T6. Because Jin chooses to move forward, he chooses to grow and change as a person. But Kazuya chooses to remain stagnant. What do you mean by the Obito treatment? Explain what you mean by that, Zeka. Kazuya became Homelander. Yeah, he's basically Homelander before Homelander. You're just staring at me like a goldfish. Sit your ass down. Mentally preparing myself for Anna and Steve not to interact with each other.
There's no escape, Joker. I will find you.
Just not yet.
I mean, yeah, like you can have Anna and Steve interact, but how would you even write that scene? What would be the big takeaway from that? I need to turn down the fucking music, man. I swear to God. How Obito was basically Madara's right-hand man for 20 years in the Akatsuki, but found his solace in the end of the war. And got to die a hero. So you want Kazuya to die a hero? Well, how would you even write a scene to where Kazuya dies? I mean, I assume with some fucking team up bullshit between Jin and Kazuya standing up against Devil Reina. But essentially, I get what you're saying. So essentially, you want Kazuya to be sacrificed in some way to get some closure. I mean, GT, you probably missed what I said earlier. I really don't give a shit about Asuka. That is some bullshit. I dodged. You just fuck you. Oh wow. Not me dying on the first boss. Am I gonna go out worse than Zeku? Are you kidding me? Get cancer. Come on. Odds are Heihachi. Odds of Heihachi betraying Reina like Jin in T3 and becoming Devil Heihachi. Devil Heihachi. That is the quote of today. Wouldn't surprise me at this point though.
Seeing as how I'm feeling generous, I'll give you this one for free. Knock me off, I dare you. End this. Pull the plug. Stop me once and for all.
Dragon Ball Heroes after me. I mean, the DLC was basically just Harada's wet dream anyway, wasn't it? I mean, you had an entire clan of people just replicating Heihachi's moveset. That's apparently been around for centuries or ages or whatever the fuck. Since before the Dark Times. Before the time of the Sith.
Batman, I'm over here.
Before the Great War that fell upon the Titans.
Get in here before more of them come.
Sakura and Karin don't have a rivalry though. More accurate. Oh wait, God, I was thinking of Sakura and Karin from Naruto. God damn it.
What's on the other side?
You meant Street Fighter. God damn it.
Only way in is via the transport system.
Open it.
Not a problem.
God damn it. Because I was watching fucking Naruto. God damn it.
Something's wrong here. The main security loop is locked.
Having a little trouble up there?
Joker.
I mean, it's basically public knowledge at this point that it is just a ripoff of Sakura and Karin.
I don't want to escape. I'm having way too much fun. I even have you here to give a smile on my face.
Not for long.
Really? We'll see. Ta-ta. Oh, I forgot to say. Just in case you were
I heard that, you raccoon peach monkey.
Gordon is on his way to Harley's.
You're a goober, Zeku, you know that? Shouts out to the 10 out of 10 Arkham Reddit meme right there, Officer Balls.
Harley's looking forward to it. Maybe I'll film it and post it on the internet.
The transport system is down. Best I can do is open the door you came in. Sorry.
I should go back.
I mean, yeah, the side characters in
Bowles
general.
wasn't too smart. He'll have left a trail.
Well, most of the side characters, I'll say in T8, weren't done their due, unfortunately.
What's happening?
Joker's escaped. He sealed himself off. He's got your father.
Paul and Law were one of them, were two of them, unfortunately.
Okay, I know.
I'm surprised no one asked me about. I'm surprised no one asked me about Safina or Claudio.
I'm starting where he was taken. A guard named Frank Bowles attacked him. If
Oh,
I find
God.
Frank, I'll find your father.
Bruce, hurry, please.
Surprised no one asked me my most hated moments in this story. The power scaling from Heihachi is Heihachi getting no diffed by Devil Jin's Heihachi fighting Devil Kazuya. The power scale, yes, the power scaling is dog shit in fucking Tekken. I mean, I'm gonna keep pointing to it, but in Tekken 4, Kazuya, fucking Devil knocked out Heihachi with a force push in T4. I'm never gonna let them live that down. I mean, yeah.
Oracle, I'm at the holding cells. I'm setting up a crime scene.
So what's the plan? Isolate something in that room unique to both?
Exactly. Bowles dropped his flask. Sloppy. Let's see with the forensics. I can follow traces of alcohol.
I mean, well, for the characters to be used effectively, they need to do something that
I've got a trail.
Only that character is capable of doing. Essentially, you need to write them in a scene that makes sense for that character. Because if you don't take that, kind of thing into consideration, you'll get shit like the Leo and Jin scene in Chapter 4, where these characters have no establishment of meeting each other, and yet Leo is so invested in Jin, living up, holding on to his true desires. You know, because as cool as it would be to finally see, the side characters finally get something to do, you can't just. It's not simply making it happen; it's how that thing happens. And it ties into the whole thing I've been saying with my that I said with the two-parter concept versus execution. Heihachi's power scaling is worse than Broly. I'm gonna assume you mean DDS Broly. Motherfuckers acting like Jin didn't commit genocide, and that it was a tiny incident. Somewhat true. That is somewhat true. Again, yeah, I have a feeling that you guys and myself would probably disagree on a bunch of stuff in Jin's arc. Side characters can't achieve their goal because they'll never have a reason to be playable again. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I will say at the very least the side cast, for what little discussion there is about Jin's war crimes, at the bare minimum, they do acknowledge that it was wrong. Because if you're really going to criticize that aspect, W Game, thank you, Wind and Fire Productions, welcome to the stream, hope you're doing well. If you do want to criticize that aspect of Jin's arc, I wouldn't simply criticize the side characters. If anything, you should be criticizing the general public. You should be criticizing the people. I mean, you should be criticizing both that for both Jin's redemption arc and for Kazuya's tournament in general. I mean, because let me ask you guys. Shut up, Amadeus. Let me ask you guys. Within the context of Tekken 8, with everything that goes on in Tekken 8's base story, why does the public support Kazuya? Answer that question. You fucking fucker. Shut your ass up. Did you see the way they took Paul's win away from against Ogre and said he was disguised as Nina? Wait, what?
Not yet, but I'm getting close. Harley Quinn tried to slow me down, dropped an elevator on me.
Did it work?
Of course not. I'll get back to you when I reach the end of the trail.
What do you think about the DLC campaign? Absolute trash. I fucking hated it. Kazuya casually hosting a public tourney after killing several people in the city is funny. They support Kazuya because of bad writing. Yeah, because I cannot. Yeah, if. Well, actually, that writing would be good. Why would that writing be good? Dive deeper, Zeku. I want to hear your perspective. Why would that writing be good? Dive deeper. It perfectly displays the general public IRL. So Zeku, is your perspective that it's real in a sense, despite it being illogical? That's literally how stupid people are IRL.
I know. I'll calibrate.
So now, okay, so Zeku, what do you look for? Are you looking for realism or internal consistency?
The direct approach is suicide. You need to be smart. Find it different to test them.
And considering Zeku, considering that you're voting for the guy, considering that Trump nearly got assassinated 3 times now, can you even, because people don't like Trump, can you even consider that to be realistic? The writers really hate Kazuya. He lost to Jin and can't successfully kill Heihachi. I see a lot of people say that the writers hate Kazuya. I'd say realism, but at this point, it's impossible for Tekken.
Oh, look who it is.
I mean, even if you look at it from a realistic perspective, there are plenty of examples of people being canceled for less, and for people having their heads served on a platter for doing less. I mean, just think about the amount of freaking pedos on fucking on YouTube. Repeat the question again. The question I asked was, are you saying it's realistic? The question I asked was, are you looking for realism or internal consistency? So basically what I mean by that is, what the logic of the universe itself, is it realistic? Is it well written? Does it make sense within the logic of Tekken as a Tekken's universe?
What's that supposed to be?
Essentially, does it make sense with the logic given from Tekken's own universe? Yes or no?
Did you really think it was going to be that easy, that I'd send a few more of my
Exactly.
boys your way? Let's see how you deal with these.
And even then, if we do use the logic of real life, again, I mean, you and Foxy talk about it all the time. Trump nearly got shot for a 3rd time now.
He could be anywhere.
Because people hate Trump.
Then keep your eyes open.
And what do they say? Trump is racist, Trump is this, that, and the fucking third. Exactly. So it just doesn't work. The public shouldn't have, simply put, the public shouldn't have been as supportive of Kazuya as they are in T8. And that's one aspect of the story mode that I just have I've seen no solid defense for. I've seen people just say, well, people are just stupid. Well, people don't really care about it. This, that, and the third. Essentially, they just brush that aspect of the story mode off. So, Zeku, with that taken into, so with the example of Trump taken into account, can you even say that it's realistic? Because But even then, when I think about it from that vantage, to an extent, you're not entirely wrong. But you're not entirely wrong. But there should be a split of the public's reaction. There would absolutely be people who support Kazuya, but at the same time, there should also be people who are I can't pronounce the word. There should be people who are absolutely against Kazuya, because I can't fucking, because I keep twisting my tongue when I try to say the other word. Vehemently? I think that's what I'm going for. In T6, Kazuya goes to... Shut the fuck up, Riddler. In T6, Kazuya goes to war against Jin to improve his public image, and then in T7, Heihachi tries to ruin Kazuya's public image by showing him proof that he's the devil, but in T8, Kazuya does far worse. Yeah, exactly. The world building just isn't fleshed out. Exactly. That is the point I was going to make. That the world building is just dog shit.
Ready for your first one? Good.
Like the Starlighters and the Homelanders and The Boys season 3 and 4. I haven't watched The Boys, so I can't. I cannot confirm or deny that, and I don't want to watch The Boys either.
Who would have expected a child to work that one out, let alone the world's greatest detective?
Over here!
And I've seen people say that if they did pay any attention to the state of the world post T6, they said it would be boring, and that there's essentially just the idea that there's no choice. You know, essentially everyone just throws in the, I've seen talk about it, just throws in the towel and says it's pointless.
Don't get too full of yourself, Dark Knight. It only gets harder from here.
It was a massacre. Bowles came walking in telling everyone to cover the front entrance. Said something about Joker's army coming.
It's gonna naturally be Paul, Steve, King, Law, and Marduk is the top 5 strongest non-Mishimas. Oh, you best throw Xiaoyu into that mix, because Xiaoyu is capable of destroying Jack 7s now for some reason.
Through the main gate. 2 of my guys moved to the exit, and Frank shot him dead. They never stood a chance.
Was Bowles alone?
Thought he was. Then I saw Harley Quinn. She was surrounded by Black Gate prisoners. They were just killing everyone in the room. I had no choice. I got in here, locked the door. I could see it on the security feed. They had someone with them. It looked like the commissioner.
Bowles is dead. They carried on without him. Must have outlived his usefulness.
R.I.P. Kevin Conroy, man.
He was scum. I'm sorry, buddy.
Manham. Hey Daredevil, how are you? What's good, Jin Kazama? Hope you're doing well. Hope your day's going good, all that good stuff. I said the same thing twice. Did you see the DLC story of Tekken 8? Yes, I have. It's absolute dog shit. And somehow they made the world building, you know, as fucking Wind and Fire Production said, they somehow made the world building even worse in the DLC. Even though they had a significantly smaller time frame. I can't unhear Officer Boss. Welcome to the subreddit. They don't even have that much focus on the public's view of Kazuya and Jin. Yes, that's one thing I actually thought they were going to focus on a little bit in Tekken 8. And it's an interesting question to raise. What does the public even think of Kazuya and Jin post T7? Things like, does the public hate Jin even more now because of his association with the devil? Has the public what does the public think about Kazuya? How does the government think about Kazuya? This, that, and the third. And the fact that there was no scene. I mean, I know why this happens. It's because everyone hated the narrator in T7, and the narrator was an attempt to answer these kinds of questions. I wish they never brought back Heihachi. Ruin Kazuya's triumph. Yes. I would have been fine. I mean, the thing is, I would have been fine with Heihachi coming back if he got an actual redemption arc. If they actually committed to making him a good guy. Because instead they just reverted everything back to T5. So I would have been fine with the resurrection if it served a purpose. But it didn't, so. I mean, because really, what is there even for Heihachi to be evil about anymore? It's also like the third time he came back. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, really, if we're being honest, he should have died back in Second 5 when he was blown to fucking smithereens. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's only so many times you can hit people with the "I always come back" shit. It's the same reason why I don't care about FNAF anymore.
Disable the Batmobile's countermeasure system.
I saw the alert. What's wrong?
Because they kept bringing back fucking...
I'm outside the Arkham Mansion.
What's his face? Purple Man? No, not Purple Man. Purple guy. Because they kept bringing him back over and over.
He could get hurt.
Okay, done. The Batmobile is still parked up outside the intensive treatment.
By the way, did you know the winner of the T4... Did you know the winner of T4 tournament got retconned?
Like your car.
Thanks, Oracle.
What do you mean the winner of T4 got retconned? Because I don't own Tekken 8, and I don't think... When Foxy was showing me the archives, I don't think I got that screenshot. So, what do you mean?
Of course, you found that one easy. You were supposed to.
So what do you mean the winner of T4 got retconned? I wish they just made Heihachi non-canon, like in Street. Yeah. I mean, this is funny because. When me and the other people in my own inner circle spoke about Street Fighter 6.
That was one of the easy ones.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. Yeah, I already knew that.
You are performing just below my predicted expectations. At this rate, you'll never beat me.
Yeah, I know they retconned to saying that that Kazuya beat Heihachi. I know that. Even though the Tekken 5, and it's funny because I have the Tekken 5 manual upstairs, and in the T5 manual they outright tell you that Kazuya lost to Heihachi in T4. So I don't know, and this retcon doesn't serve any purpose, so I don't even know what was the fucking... Maybe they were trying to give Kazuya a free win? Isn't that a trophy? No, that's a trophy, not a Riddler trophy. God damn it, I got all the trophies. People wanted Hay back for no reason. I mean, this is the whole thing with fighting games. Gameplay people versus story people. So people wanted Heihachi's moveset back, and they wanted it back on Heihachi. So that's why they brought him back.
A challenge completed. Can you do more?
And of course, the people making the game themselves, they Harada and Co. They also wanted to bring Heihachi back. So. I mean, of course, I obviously don't agree with it. It definitely should have been non-canon. I personally think it's a good retcon. Like, I know we might disagree on this, but I feel like, each Mishima surpasses the previous one. I mean, I guess. I mean, my perspective is just that this retcon, it doesn't serve a purpose, so what's the point of even doing it? Would the narrative have changed that much if you kept this aspect consistent? Imagine Kazuya being salty. I mean, one of two things is going to happen with Kazuya. Either he's going to get a redemption arc, or he's going to die in some way, shape, or form. Heihachi was desperate to. Also, by the way, Zeku, you see that, Zeku? That's how you do free flow without getting hit. You fucking scrub. Anyways.
Explosive gel in the trunk of the Batmobile. I may need it.
So, anyways, Heihachi was desperate to erase the double gene from his lineage from T1 to 7, but also the double gene is a cornerstone of his master plan with Reina according to special dialogue. Yep. I don't even think they. I mean, I already said it way back when. With the Reina, they didn't know what to do with her. I think in general, they don't even know where they want to take the story up until this point. I think this is just the Michael Bay Transformer situation. They're just gonna keep doing it.
So what was it that gave it away? The big green glowing question mark?
They're just gonna keep doing it until they have like a massive failure.
Barbara gave it to him. There's no way he'd leave it.
I mean, we all know Tekken is pretty much in the same spot Star Wars is in that.
Oracle, I found
just because you see a character die doesn't mean they're dead, unfortunately.
Gift I gave him last year. There's no way he'd leave it.
Exactly. He's left me a trail to follow. He's alive, Barbara.
Making Heihachi win just makes the story unnatural and convoluted. Besides the obvious downplay on Kazuya, even in game, you get Heihachi's ending. Also, why load characters losing cutscene? You think it's convoluted if Heihachi beats Kazuya in T4? And look at this low polygon ass freaking leaves or mud, whatever this is. Look at this shit.
Don't you forget, search every nook and cranny. I want everyone found. Hey, I don't want anyone missing the party.
I mean, the way I view Hey being Kazuya in T4 is that it's the idea of Kazuya playing back into Heihachi's hands and not learning his mistake, and which is why he loses to his father. Which is the whole point. I'm not listening to the Chronicle of Arkham. Suck my dick. Riddler trophies. Wait, what the hell is this? It's impressive how they came up with an explanation for Hay surviving. It's impressive how they can come up with an explanation for Hay surviving that's less believable than him just flexing on the lava. I mean, yeah. I mean, even T4, in the manual of Tekken 4, they go out of their way to say that Kazuya, even though he was knocked out, he transformed into his devil form at the last second before his body hit the magma or the lava. So like even T4 went out of its way to try to give a plausible explanation as to how Kazuya survived. Not listening to that shit either. You can kill yourself. Where the fuck are the seesaws? I'm leaving until I find them.
I don't know about you, but I'm having a great time.
There we go.
You guys just make it look too easy, like you're not even trying, which is not.
I'd have solved all the puzzles by now.
I mean, Kazuya was watching the body fall into the fucking lava too, which is another thing. So, and then if you really want to be a stingy asshole about it, you can also point out that Tekken 8 established that he has essentially, like, he can see very far somehow. So if you take that into account, he would have absolutely seen that Seiryu, the Seiryu clown. I understand, but unlike T2, Kazuya was fully expecting to see Heihachi at the end. He had no reason to lose. I just see Heihachi losing. I mean, that's fine. I mean, it makes sense. Heihachi's not in his he's not in his prime. Yeah, I can see that. I can see an argument made for that. But my advantage is that you establish this in the lore. You know, just keep it consistent. How do you feel about Heihachi smiling after attempting to kill Kazuya and Jin? But in T7, he looks sad to fight Kazuya.
I just
And
want everyone to know that I really appreciate all the hard work. You know, watching you guys is like a night in.
Now I gotta listen to the fucking Mark Hamill rant in my fucking ear. In what context was Heihachi smiling when he was about to kill Kazuya and Jin? Do you mean T4? Have I seen Tekken live action? No, I haven't. But given that it's an early 2000s fucking fighting game movie, I guarantee it was probably terrible. Did Kazuya survive T2? I thought he did. So what happened was that in Tekken 4, in the manual, they established that Kazuya transformed into his devil form before the last second, before his body hit the lava, and that's how he survives. And that's why in the Tekken 4 prologue, Kazuya's body is purple when he's at the bottom of the volcano. And then from that point onward to T4, his body was being reconstructed over the course of 20 years. And that's why Kazuya looks so much older compared to T2. And the manual says that he was curious about the genetic component of his devil powers, which is why he wanted to map his devil gene. Also, we can agree that T7 story sucked. Besides the final fight, of course, T8's base story is good. Besides the DLC, yeah, I agree. Heihachi smiles after dropping Kazuya in the volcano, and in T3 he smiles when shooting Jin.
Watching my favorite movie. Oh yeah. Struggling idiots. And find an even bigger idiot running around like a man. Now get to
I mean, it's pretty obvious that the whole Heihachi... I mean, when I look at the sympathetic character angle they took with Heihachi in T7, I feel as though they didn't know if they wanted to commit to making Heihachi sympathetic, or if they wanted to keep him consistent with the previous games. So as a result, you have this weird juggling act of where 1 second Heihachi is a dictator, he's power hungry, and then the next second he's a remorseful man who's trying to make the most out of the time that he feels he has left. They just couldn't commit. They just couldn't commit to one. Which again would have been fine with if T8 delivered, but they didn't. I never saw Heihachi as a sympathetic character because he was never supposed to be. Yeah.
He's here!
I mean, Heihachi relished in New Evil. These fuckers do not die. What the hell? God damn. What the hell? 40 combo? I mean, I didn't get hit, but god damn. And now the chat's repeating itself. God, this place, God, PlayStation's doing so bad. I think they made Heihachi a sympathetic character because he's Heihachi's favorite, yeah. The free flow combo was fire. Oh, big ups. I'm glad you approve. I do my best work when I'm under pressure. Wait, isn't there a trophy for looking at Gotham or some shit? Don't expect too many of those from me. I promise you the next time you see me get into free flow, I'm gonna get hit by some stupid shit. I mean, but yeah, it's pretty much wildly accepted at this point that there's definitely some favoritism going on with Heihachi in T7, which is why we got that narrative. But the whole point of Heihachi is that he relishes in his evil. He doesn't look for he doesn't justify, or he doesn't need an excuse for his actions. He wants power for power's sake. You know, the whole thing of him wanting to rule with an iron fist. You know, Iron Fist, of course, being translated to Tekken. But Heihachi in T7, I think it's indicative of a trend of the whole thing of how a lot of writers try to they want to make their characters more understandable. You know, the whole understandable villain trope thing. No, and I'm not saying that you can't do that, but Heihachi was not the correct character to do that with. Because you would have had, it's easier, it would have been easier to, it is easier in general to sell people on that narrative for Kazuya. Which a lot of people believe that narrative for Kazuya to begin with, that he only does bad things because of his upbringing.
Easy. A blind man would have stumbled over that one.
Yes, I agree. We need to have villains who are just villains. But it's a very easy way to tug at the audience's heartstrings by making a character cry.
Why does he need the doctors? I've got to save them.
I really don't want to even think about Reina in that mess of a narrative. Why am I all the way down here? Do some casual terrorism.
Stop your crying, or I'll show you.
I mean, it does make you question why Reina, why was that the only child that Heihachi chose not to fucking abuse? Especially with the context we're given that Reina was a part of the Hachisho clan because of the fucking archives. Your headcanon is that Heihachi hates men. I thought I blew him up. I put explosive gel. Am I going crazy? I thought I put explosive gel.
What do we do now? We gotta find him, or we're next. You hear me? Batman?
So what? Heihachi's just sexist. Is that the canon now? Reina is mid. I mean, yeah, I agree. If you could change one thing about Tekken 8's base story, what would it be? Ooh.
What the?
I would have Devil Jin be in the story a lot more. That is a personal thing. I've always thought Devil Jin could have been implemented into the base game a lot more. There's interesting questions you could ask, you could tackle from for Jin's morality through Devil Jin. Because every criticism that Devil Jin gives is essentially what Jin feels about himself. So we could have seen a lot more of Jin's doubts and how the guilt of Tekken 6 is eating him away, and why he needs to overcome it in order to help the people in the present. So that's one thing I would change about the base story of T8. I imagine most people would say that they would want Jun to be in the story a lot more. They would give Asuka a role.
The room's clear. You're safe now.
Or they would have the characters be more critical of Jin. Which some of those decisions are very valid.
Over here! I don't know what happened. One minute we were doing our evening rounds, and the next, armed thugs burst into the room and took us hostage.
Did they have anyone with them?
They took someone into the elevator. I couldn't tell who it was.
So Heihachi is just sexist. Everyone agrees in this chat that Heihachi is just sexist. What the fuck?
We'll be fine.
What about the others? We heard gunfire. They could be dead. We should go and help.
Oh no, I forgot. Dr. Kellerman was in the patient observation room.
Next thing you're going to tell me that Kazi is secretly fucking racist.
Went to X-ray.
Okay, stay here. I'll find the other doctors.
That man saved us. I never really believed he existed.
I'll get you out of there.
I would totally vote for Kazuya for president. Totally.
So the great detective has solved a mere 10% of my challenges. Are you ready to give up yet?
And the chat is glitching again. If Double Jin was protecting Jin this whole time, why was he destroying forests in T5? Nice. I see how you asked the same question I did in the original two-parter. I mean, I guess the explanation of Double Jin trying to protect him, it doesn't contradict anything we knew, because you can shut the fuck up, Riddler. You could sort of explain it in T3 because Devil Jin revived him after he was killed, and even with when he nearly killed Hwoarang in T5, you can also explain it that he was trying to protect Jin. I need this though. And even in T7 when Jin is he's about to be taken by the UN, you can explain it. I don't personally hate the whole Devil Jin was trying to protect Jin thing. It's just could have yeah, essentially, yeah, as GT Rising just say, yeah, he's essentially just the Hulk. Yeah, pretty much. Make of that what you will. I imagine some people probably hate it.
But good job, nevertheless.
Honestly, the problem is not that it contradicts anything, but rather it was never implied that Devil Jin was protecting him up until now. I mean, yeah. I guess with protecting him from trees. Everyone just memes on Tekken's story up until this point. Just now. Everyone just memes on it. It's like, I can't even blame you guys. Because it is really just one big fucking meme at this point.
Batman!
Second story is basically a meme.
But it's a trap.
I mean, yeah.
I know. Just not for me.
It's true. You really are the world's greatest detective. How did you do that, Bats? Oh, what the hell? Get down there.
I mean, it's weird because I even watched... I fucking watched Tekken Bloodline. And I didn't hate Tekken Bloodline. I thought it was decent. It wasn't... I don't consider it peak fiction, but it was fine.
What are you waiting for? April Fool's Day?
So I'm looking forward to reading about my reboot. I'm gonna be honest. I've seen them. I've gotten about 2 DMs of people telling me about ideas they have for a revised version of Tekken Story. Shut up, Joker. Of Tekken Story. I haven't gotten to read any of them, and it's not because I'm trying to be a dick or anything. It's just I literally don't have time because I'm back in school and I'm fucking in the background. I'm editing fucking videos and writing scripts, or I'm just doing research. So I haven't had the time to really read any of the revised Tekken stories. But I'll get to it someday, and I'll give you some pointers if it piques my interest at all. Tekken Story is mean because it's become a wacky game where anything can happen and lore gets contradicted every game and new lore comes out of nowhere. Tekken Bloodline is okay, should have been a bit longer and fleshed out in my opinion. Yeah,
I'm just softening you up. Think of this as a preview to the main event. You'll see.
Don't leave me. They could wake up. I'm sorry.
Tekken Bloodline was good, I agree with you. Yeah, also whenever you have the time. Yeah.
Relax, you're safe now. I can handle these low-life thugs.
I mean, one praise I can definitely give to Tekken Bloodline is I thought Heihachi's character was handled somewhat solid. It was a bit too on the nose with the fact that Heihachi was obviously evil, as opposed to the original story of T3, where the whole point is that Heihachi is using his public perception in order to persuade people to join his side. But yeah, because I remember I was just boycotting Tekken Bloodline for like the longest time. Then I finally watched it. I'm like, you know what? It's actually not that bad.
Good. That means son of a bitch's cash.
Your favorite characters are Kazi and Jin? I would never have guessed. Joking, of course.
It's done. The room is it's the back.
Oh damn, I got that man's body all disconjointed. That's tough.
There was an alarm in medical. I heard someone shouting and found the doc lying on the floor. When I went for helping, the woman gas. Joker filled the room with gas and we're trapped in here. I can sit in here all night, but the doc over there ain't looking too good.
I mean, I feel like the thing with retcons that people don't take into account is that it's not simply changing the established lore. It's what you're changing and how you do it. Wanna know what character I hate the most? Azazel. I'm pretty sure everyone hates Azazel. Batman just tried to commit suicide. It's kind of dark, dude. I mean, I will say, and then this is another praise I can give to T8, they actually did try to properly explain Azazel's significance, which I respect. What is this tweet doing here? I mean, I don't even hate Azazel for his design. I just hate that he's a fucking jobber. Most wasted character in terms of lore.
Batman arrived just in the nick of time. Next time, Cash, I'll just shoot you.
I know. I mean, I know people are probably they expect me to either say fucking what's her face, Asuka, you know, and you know, kind of hard not to, you know, it's low hanging fruit. I'd argue that fucking what's his face? Shut up, Riddler. I'd argue that Claudio and Zafina are some of the most wasted characters in the fucking franchise.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Marshall seems kind of wasted too. I mean, Law doesn't do anything. He's a fucking gag character. I remember Foxy called him a communist. And then that gave me a good chuckle. Alright, I'll have to stop Jonkler. I'll get out of here. But yeah, I'd say Claudio and Zafina are some of the most wasted. It's funny because it's funny because Claudio and Zafina, they're fucking piss poor. Shut up, Batman. Their piss poor fucking use in TH story actually ended up making chapter 6 and 7 some of my the most hated chapters in that fucking game. I hate chapter 6 and 7 with a passion.
Old friends coming to the party. One of them is just terrified you'll leave without saying hello. The other, well, let's just say he's going to be surprised to see you, and you will be to see him.
Alright, time to go save Dr. Yin.
When Amadeus Arkham built this fine institution, few would have believed it could
There ain't
be
nothing
the
fine
premier
about this
psychiatric
institution.
evaluation and rehabilitation center it has become. Everyone knows the stories of the various so-called super criminals who've been treated here, but that is
That's Doc, no.
Yeah, she can operate on me.
Remember, a happy patient is a quiet patient. Welcome.
A happy patient is a quiet
We're
patient.
here to help you. When Amadeus Arkham built this fine institution, few would have believed it would be the premier psychiatric evaluation and rehabilitation center it has become. Everyone knows the stories of the various so-called super criminals who've been treated here, but that is only half the story.
How come Kazuya stopped trying to take his power back from Jin? If in T8 it would have helped him be Nazo.
An extensive breakdown of our costs and healthcare packages.
I mean, they kind of dropped that whole plot after T4.
At www.arkhamcare.com/prices. We accept most major HMOs.
Yeah, so like fuck if I know at this point.
Everything you need to know about our facility.
But like, how come Kazuya doesn't have anyone else? This doesn't really have to do anything with the story, but I like how Kazuya doesn't have anyone who copies his stance or most of his moves. Yep. Kazuya got a Zenkai boost, yeah, essentially.
But that is only half the story.
Somehow.
Our low security wings offer normal but troubled individuals a safe haven for
I mean, pretty much every character gets a Zenkai boost in second.
a wide range of medical, surgical, diagnostic, and wellness programs. High quality.
They're pretty much just as strong as the writers want them to be.
I have done exactly as you've asked.
Look, you think I care? Stop your whining and listen good. If anyone goes near you without Joker's express permission, then I've been ordered to make sure you are taken out ASAP. Looks like you're a mahogany chip. Gotta tell you, the boss is all over this job. Planned like a military operation. Friends on the inside and out.
I am quite aware that this job, as you call it, requires friends. What I want to know is why you chose me. Did Joker specify me? Why don't you let me talk to him? I'm sure we can settle this.
He probably was like, maybe Devil Form has a new version after T6. I mean, they never explain Kazuya's Devil Forms. They just give it to him.
What's going on? They were talking like they were in control. Is it true that Joker escaped?
Unfortunately, yes. But not for long.
I'd been studying Joker's case for months when he broke out. The Warden was very specific he wanted Joker cured.
Bad publicity will affect his campaign for mayor.
That'll be the least of his...
I hate Batman's face in the remaster.
Moving through the facility, hunting down the other doctors.
Not a problem. All staff have been rescued. You'll be safer if you remain here.
Anyway. I've been going for like, what, 2 hours? Okay, cool. So this was a cool test stream. I'm surprised people pulled through. Assassin's Creed 3 has a mediocre remaster. Yep. Well, I don't play Assassin's Creed, so. So the next time I do a stream, it will probably be in 2025, and it will be a similar case to this one, to where y'all come in and you can ask me questions about Tekken 8 story, whether it's the DLC or the base game, and it will be right before I upload a video. I won't specify what that video is, but yeah. Anyways, I got 2 more character analysis videos coming soon. Should be pretty obvious who they're on if you've been on my community page. Yeah, appreciate y'all stopping by, coming through, asking me questions. Until next time.